associate would like to introduce themselves, that's also fine.
Yes, Your Honor. Samantha Bungie on the line as well.
Ah, okay. Okay, and I heard that Attorney Rudolph was on the line for Mr. Martin. Mr. Rudolph, if you can go ahead and please introduce yourself.
Good morning, Your Honor. This is Nathan Rudolph, bar number 124419. I am the court-appointed attorney for respondent/protected person Gregory Martin.
Okay. I also heard that I had Miss Garman on the line. Miss Garman, if you can go ahead and please introduce yourself.
Yes, Catherine Garman, court visitor.
Thank you. I also had the petitioner on the line, Miss Gazelle Fuller. If you can go ahead and please introduce yourself.
Belle Fuller, petitioner.
Okay, thank you. I heard a individual from APS. If you can go ahead and please introduce yourself.
Yes, this is Megan Huffman with APS.
Okay. And then finally, Miss Lawrence, if you can go ahead and please introduce yourself.
Jessica Lawrence, inpatient social worker at the VA. And then Mr. Martin is also on speakerphone with a colleague.
Okay. Mr. Martin, would if Mr. Martin may introduce himself.
He will not likely respond.
Okay, thank you. But thank you for noting that Mr. Martin is on the line. Okay, so let me go ahead and turn it over to Ms. Salisbury or Ms. Bungie. My understanding is that you are requesting that the temporary guardianship be extended with waiving the advance 2 days notice. Ms. Salisbury, I'll turn it over to you.
Good morning, Your Honor. We're actually doing a motion for a protective order as the temporary guardianship and conservatorship has already been extended prior. At this point, we have a hearing for the permanent guardianship and conservatorship scheduled for August 27th, and we would like to have a protective order established until all of the objections in this case have been heard and decided by the court, as well as a decision by the court on whether or not Mr. Martin should continue to have a permanent guardian and conservator in this matter. So it's really a protective order versus an extension of the temporary letters.
Okay. Mr. Rudolph, let me go ahead and turn it over to you for your position.
Thank you, Your Honor. I was only recently appointed to represent Mr. Martin. I've not had a chance to meet with him in person yet. I am going to be doing that later this week. After that, I'll hopefully have a better picture of exactly how he wants me to advocate for him with respect to this case. As it stands today, I'm glad that he is listening in, and I wanted him to be able to listen in and to let you know if he does have a position on the motion today. So I would encourage you to check in with him and see if he has anything to say. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Rudolph. Let me go ahead and turn to Ms. Garman and see if she has anything to report or if she has a position. Ms. Garman?
I have nothing to add from my initial reports at this point. There's lots of, for better word, stuff that has been filed and a cross petition, and I have yet to address that.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Garman. Let me go ahead and turn to Ms. Huffman with APS and see if she has anything to add. Ms. Huffman?
I have nothing to add at this point. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me turn to Ms. Lawrence. Ms. Lawrence, do you have anything to add?
Nothing to add at this time.
Thank you. And Miss Lawrence, is Mr. Martin there on the line with you, or is he in a different line with a colleague?
Mr. Lawrence is on a different line with a colleague. He typically does not respond verbally.
Okay.
But we wanted to make sure he had the opportunity to participate.
Oh, absolutely. I fully support that. I do need to ask, per Mr. Rudolph's guidance, which the court appreciates, Mr. Martin, a request is being made to for a protective order that's meant to continue until the court makes a decision on the permanent guardianship and conservatorship in early August. So, a little under 30 days or over 30 days out. Would you have any objections to the court issuing a protective order at least through the date of your next hearing? If you do have a position, I would need to hear any type of noise from your end, or objection, a simple no, or a simple statement saying objection would suffice for the court. Okay. Hearing none, I will go ahead and grant the motion for a protective order as requested by Ms. Salisbury and her associate, Ms. Bungie. Any questions from the attorneys?
Your Honor, Associate Attorney Bungie here. One issue that we were hoping we could get some guidance on, if the court is willing to do so. In our motion, and my understanding is that everybody that is on the phone today has received a copy of the motion. We are running into an issue in this matter, and it is very new to us, where an individual is claiming to be the personal representative for Mr. Martin, and is doing such things such as filing publications and contacting third parties to attempt to get information about Mr. Martin and access his assets. If the court could offer any guidance as to how to address this, as well as the copious amounts of pleadings that are being filed in this matter, we would greatly appreciate that.
Okay. Let me think things through here. Something that could be that, again, I can't really give any legal advice, but there are things such as ABDAPA that may or may not be applicable in this type of situation. I would ask that you look into that, and if it is something that you believe would qualify, you could feel free and make an initial filing and contact the probate department, so that could be routed to me instead of the judge on the protective order dockets. That is something that could that you may be able to benefit from in this particular instance. And I don't know everything, but if that's the first thing that came to mind to me. Does that make sense, Ms. Bungie?
Yes, Your Honor. I greatly appreciate it. This is a new one for us. So thank you.
And again, if you look at the ABDAPA rules, perhaps it's not, it wouldn't meet the threshold for a restraining order to be continued if there is a contested hearing, but it might help cease the behavior that you have stated to the court is transpiring. And so that would be a potential option for you. But again, contact the probate department so it can be something that's routed to me, if that's the route that you choose to go.
Thank you, Your Honor. Greatly appreciate it.
Anything else from anyone? Okay. Hearing nothing, I will go ahead and sign the proposed order, which has been already sent to my queue. And you're all free to go for today. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Every courtroom's crashed, Your Honor. Multiple people are on.